Hare Krishna devotees Danvat Pranam. Prabhuji has said to start reading the translation and he would join in next 5 minutes. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तेऽहं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णकृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधु भये च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय। So anybody can start reading.
Hare Krishna Mataji, only translations?
We can start with the chapter summary as well, Mataji.
Okay.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Chapter 8, the Narayan Kavach Shield. This chapter describes how Indra, the king of heaven, was victorious over the soldiers of the demons, and it also describes the shield of the Vishnu mantra. To take protection from this shield, one must first touch kusha grass and wash one's mouth with Achaman mantras. One should observe silence and then take place the 8th label Vishnu mantra on the parts of his body and place the 12th label mantra on his hands. The 8th label mantra is Om Namo Narayana. This mantra should be distributed all over the front and back of the body. The 12th label mantra, which begins with the Pranava Omkara, is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. One's label should be placed on each of the fingers and should be preceded by the Pranava Omkara. Thereafter, one must chant Om Vishnave Namaha, which is a 6th label mantra. One must progressively place these labels of the mantra on the heart, the head, between the two eyebrows, on the shikha, and between the eyes, and then one should chant Maha-Ashtraya Phat, and with this mantra protect himself from all directions. Nadevo Devam Archayet, one who has not risen to the level of a Dev cannot chant this mantra. According to this direction of the Shastra, one must think himself qualitatively non-different from the Supreme. After finishing this dedication, one must offer a prayer to the 8-armed Lord Vishnu, who sits on the shoulders of the Garudev. One also has to think of the fish incarnation, Vamana, Kurma, Narsimha, Varaha, Parshuram, Ramchandra, the elder brother of Lakshmana, Nar Narayan, Dattatreya, an empowered incarnation, Kapila, San Kumar, Haigriva, Narada Deva, the incarnation of a devotee, Dhanvantari, Rishabdev, Yagya, Balarama, Vyasadeva, Buddhadeva, and Keshava. One should also think of Govinda, the master of Vrindavan, and one should think of Narayana, the master of the spiritual sky. One should think of Madhusudara, Tridhama, Madhava, Rishikesha, Padmanabha, Janardhana, Damodara, and Vishveshwara, as well as the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna himself. After offering prayers to the Lord's personal expansions known as Swamsha and Shaktyavesha avatars, one should pray to the weapons of Lord Narayana, such as the Sudarshana, Gadha, Shank, Khadga, and bow. After explaining this process, Shukdev Goswami told Maharaj Parikshit how Vishwarupa, the brother of Vritasura, described the glories of the Narayan Kavach to Indra.
King Parikshit inquired from Shukadev Goswami, My lord, kindly explain the Vishnu mantra armor that protected King Indra and enabled him to conquer his enemies, along with their carriers, and enjoy the opulence of the three worlds. Please explain to me that Narayan armor by which King Indra achieved success in battle, conquering the enemies who were endeavoring to kill him. Hare Krishna, I will not call the names. Somebody else can please read text 3.
Text 3. Shishuk said, King Indra, the leader of the demigods, inquired about the armor known as Narayan Kavach from Vishwarup, who was engaged by the demigods as their priest. Please hear Vishwarupa's reply with great attention.
Vishwarupa said, if some form of fear arrives, one should first wash his hands and legs clean and then perform Achmana by chanting this mantra Om Apavitrah Pavitro Va Sarva Vastham Gatopi Va Yah Smaret Pundri Kaksham Sa Bhyantara Shuchihi Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu. Then one should touch kusha grass and sit gravely and silently facing north. When completely purified, one should touch the mantra composed of 8 syllables to the 8 parts of his body and touch the mantra composed of 12 syllables to his hands. Thus, in the following manner, he should bind himself with the Narayana coat of armor. First, while chanting the mantra composed of 8 syllables Om Namo Narayanaya, beginning with the Pranava, the syllable Om, one should touch his hands to 8 parts of his body, starting with the 2 feet and progressing systematically to the knees, thighs, abdomen, heart, chest, mouth, and head. Then one should chant the mantra in reverse, beginning from the last syllable Ya while touching the parts of his body in the reverse order. These two processes are known as Utpatti Nyasa and Samhara Nyasa respectively.
Then one should chant the mantra composed of 12 syllables Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, preceding each syllable by the Omkara. One should place the syllables of the mantra on the tips of his fingers, beginning with the index fingers of the right hand and the concluding with the index finger of the left. The 4 remaining syllables should be placed on the joints of the thumbs.
Text 8 to 10. One must then chant the mantra of 6 syllables, Om Vishnave Namah. One should place the syllable Om on his heart, the syllable V on the top of his head, and the syllable Sa between his eyebrows. The syllable Na in his tuft of hair, that is Shikha, and the syllable Ve between his eyes. The chanter of the mantra should then place the syllable Na on all joints of his body and meditate on the syllable Ma as being a weapon. He should thus become the perfect personification of the mantra. Thereafter, adding Visarga to the final syllable Ma, he should chant the mantra Maha Astraya Fat in all directions beginning from the east. In this way, all directions will be bound by protective armor of the mantra.
Lakshmi Mataji.
After finishing this chanting, one should think himself qualitatively one with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is full in 6 opulences and is worthy to be meditated upon. Then one should chant the following protective prayer to Lord Narayan, the Narayan Kavacha.
The Supreme Lord, who sits on the back of the bird Garuda, touching him with his lotus feet, holds 8 weapons, the conch shell, disc, shield, sword, club, arrows, bow, and ropes. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead protect me at all times with his 8 arms. He is the all-powerful because he fully possesses the 8 mystic powers, anima, anima, etc.
May the Lord, who assumes the body of a great fish, protect me in the water from the fierce animals that are associates of the demigod Varuna. By expanding his illusory energy, the Lord assumed the form of dwarf Vaman. May Vaman protect me on the land. Since the genetic form of the Lord Vishwarup conquers the 3 worlds, may he protect me in the sky.
May Lord Nrsimhadev, who appeared as the enemy of Hiranyakashipu, protect me in all directions. His loud laughing vibrated in all directions and caused the pregnant wives of the Asuras to have miscarriages. May that Lord be kind enough to protect me in difficult places like the forest and battlefront.
Text 15. The supreme indestructible Lord is ascertained through the performance of ritualistic sacrifices and is therefore known as Yagneshwara. In his incarnation of the Lord Boar, he raised the planet Earth from the water at the bottom of the universe and kept it on his pointed tusk. May that Lord protect me from the rugs on the street. May Parshurama protect me on the tops of the mountains, and may the elder brother of Bharata, Lord Ramchandra, along with his brother Lakshmana, protect me in foreign countries.
Text 16. May Lord Narayan protect me from unnecessary following false religious systems and falling from my duties due to madness. May the Lord in his appearance as Nar protect me from unnecessary pride. May Lord Dattatreya, the master of all mystic power, protect me from falling while performing Bhakti Yoga. And may Lord Kapila, the master of all good qualities, protect me from the material bondage of fruitive activity.
Text 17. May Sanat Kumar protect me from lusty desires as I begin some auspicious activity. May Lord Hygriva protect me from being an offender by neglecting to offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord. May Devarashi Narada protect me from committing offenses in worshipping the deity, and may Lord Kurma, the tortoise, protect me from falling to the unlimited hellish planets.
May the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his incarnation as Dhanvantari relieve me from undesirable eatables and protect me from physical illness. May Lord Rishabhadev, who conquered his inner and outer senses, protect me from fear produced by the duality of eating food. May Yagna protect me from defamation and harm from the populace. And may Lord Balaram, as Shesha, protect me from envious serpents.
May the personality of Godhead in his incarnation as Vyasadeva protect me from all kinds of ignorance resulting from the absence of Vedic knowledge. May Lord Buddhadeva protect me from activities opposed to Vedic principles and from laziness that causes one to madly forget the Vedic principles of knowledge and ritualistic action. May Kalki Dev, the Supreme Personality of Godhead who appeared as an incarnation to protect religious principles, protect me from the dirt of the age of Kali. इसके संतर्यामी बलराम प्रभु जी
Mati, which text I have to read?
20 प्रभु जी.
May Lord Keshav protect me with his club in the first portion of the day, and may Govind, who is always engaged in playing his flute, protect me in the second portion of the day. May Lord Narayan, who is equipped with all potencies, protect me in the third part of the day, and may Lord Vishnu, who carries a disc to kill enemies, protect me in the fourth part of the day.
May Lord Madhusudana, who carries a bow very fearful for the demons, protect me during the fifth part of the day. In the evening, may Lord Madhava, appearing as Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara, protect me and in the beginning of night, may Lord Rishikesha protect me. At the dead of night, in the second and third part of the night, may Lord Padmanabha alone protect me.
Text 22. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who bears the Sri Vatsa on his chest. Protect me after midnight until the sky become pinkish. May the Lord Janardana, who carries a sword in his hand, protect me at the end of the night during the last four Ghatikas of night. May Lord Damodara protect me in the early morning. May Lord Vishweshwara protect me during the junction of the day and night.
Maji, text 23, right?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Set into the motion by the personality of Godhead and wandering in all the four directions, the disk of the Supreme Lord has sharp edges as destructive as the fire of devastation at the end of the millennium. As a blazing fire burns dry grass to ashes with the assistance of the breeze, may that Sudarshan Chakra burn our enemies to ashes.
Text 24. O club in the hand of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you produce sparks of fire as powerful as thunderbolts, and you are extremely dear to the Lord. I am also his servant. Therefore, kindly help me pound to pieces the evil living beings known as Kushmandas, Vainayakas, Yakshas, Rakshas, Bhutas, and Grahas. Please pulverize them.
O best of conscience, O Panchajanya, in the hands of the Lord, you are always filled with the breath of Lord Krishna. Therefore, you create a fearful sound vibration that causes trembling in the hearts of the enemies like Rakshasas, Pramathas, ghosts, Pretas, Matas, Pishachas, and Brahm ghost with fearful eyes.
O king of sharp-edged swords, you are engaged by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Please cut the soldiers of my enemies to pieces. Please cut them to pieces. O shield marked with 100 brilliant moon-like circles, please cover the eyes of the sinful enemies. Pluck out their sinful eyes.
May the glorification of the transcendental name, form, qualities, and paraphernalia of the Supreme Personality of Godhead protect us from the influence of great planets, meteors, envious human beings, serpents, scorpions, and animals like tigers and wolves. May it protect us from ghosts and the material elements like earth, water, fire, and air, and may it also protect us from lightning and our past sins. We are always afraid of these hindrances to our auspicious life. Therefore, may they all be completely destroyed by the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Text 29. Lord Garuda, the carrier of the Lord Vishnu, is the most worshipable Lord, for he is as powerful as the Supreme Lord himself. He is the personified Vedas and he is worshipped by the selected verses. May he protect us from all the dangerous conditions, and may Lord Vishwavaksena, the personality of Godhead, who also protect us from all the dangers by his holy names.
May the Supreme Personality of Godhead's holy names, his transcendental forms, his carriers, and all his weapons decorating him as personal associates protect our intelligence, senses, mind, and life from all dangers.
Text 31. The subtle and gross cosmic manifestation is material, but nevertheless it is non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead because he is ultimately the cause of all causes. Cause and effect are factually one because the cause is present in the effect. Therefore, the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, can destroy all our dangers by any of his potent parts.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the living entities, the material energy, the spiritual energy, and the entire creation are all individual substances. In the ultimate analysis, however, together they constitute the Supreme One, the Personality of Godhead. Therefore, those who are advanced in spiritual knowledge see unity in diversity. For such advanced person, the Lord's bodily decorations, his names, his fame, his attributes and forms, and the weapons in his hand are manifestation of the strength of his potency. According to their elevated spiritual understanding, the omniscient Lord who manifests various forms is present everywhere. May he always protect us everywhere from all calamities.
Prahlad Maharaj loudly chanted the holy name of Lord Nrsingadev. May Lord Nrsingadev, roaring for his devotee Prahlad Maharaj, protect us from all fears of dangers created by stalwart leaders in all directions through poison, weapon, water, fire, air, and so on. May the Lord cover their influence by his own transcendental influence. May Nrsingadev protect us in all directions and in all corners, above, below, within, and without.
Vishwarupa continued, O Indra, this mystic armor related to Lord Narayana has been described by me to you. By putting on this protective covering, you will certainly be able to conquer the leaders of the demons.
Text 36. If one employs his armor, whomever he sees with his eyes or touches with his feet is immediately freed from all the above mentioned dangers.
This prayer, Narayan Kavacha, constitutes subtle knowledge transcendentally connected with Narayan. One who employs this prayer is never disturbed or put in danger by the government, by plunderers, by evil demons, or by any type of disease.
O King of Heaven, a Brahmana named Kaushika formerly used this armor when he purposely gave up his body in the desert by mystic power.
Surrounded by many beautiful women, Chitraratha, the king of Gandharva Loka, was once passing in his airplane over the Brahmana's body at the spot where the Brahman had died.
Suddenly, Chitrarat was forced to fall from the sky head first with his airplane. Struck with wonder, he was ordered by the great sages, named the Valikyas, to throw the Brahmana's bones in the nearby river Saraswati. He had to do this and bathe in the river before returning to his own abode.
Shri Shukadev Goswami said, My dear Maharaj Parikshit, one who employs this armor or hears about it with faith and veneration, when afraid because of any conditions in the material world, is immediately freed from all dangers and is worshipped by all living entities.
Text 42. King Indra, who performed 100 sacrifices, received his prayer of protection from Vishwarupa. After conquering the demons, he enjoyed all the opulences of the three worlds.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept our humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So good. So you completed the chapter, which is basically reading of translations only because that chapter explains what is about Narayana Kavacha and how to be a Narayana Kavacha. There are hardly any purports to discuss there. It's very auspicious to chant Narayana Kavacha because Narayana Kavacha offers protection to devotees. And then the very fact that we chanted Narayana Kavacha incomplete is very good. Is one of the important objectives of this unit that we chant Narayana Kavacha. Okay, now we will get back to our schedule. So we chant with imitation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nigamakalpatarorgalitam phalam sukhatam jita dravasamyatam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam madhuragorasika bhuvavakaha. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet. Ashtaprayesha bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati tamashloke bhaktir bhavati neshtiki. Om Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamahyam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Sri Gurun Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakagana Raghunatan Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parajana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sakagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanusate Devi Pranamami Haripriye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschaitta Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangalangayate Kripapadmaham Mande Shri Gurum Janitaranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Mishwaram Tathanjana Smrite Yasmin Dushkaram Sukaram Bhavet Smrite Pritam Syat Shri Chaitanya Mamikam. Okay, so we will examine few purports in the previous chapter, mainly which deals with mood and mission. Then the rest of it, whatever deals with personal application, we have discussed in detail. So we'll deal with the mood and mission part, and then we will move to the next chapter. Okay, please generally read what is there in blue. What is highlighted in blue, you can read. Please read.
Fortunately, however, the Hare Krishna movement has come to America, and many fortunate young men are giving serious attention to this movement, which is creating ideal men of first-class character, men who completely refrain from meat eating, illicit sex, intoxication, and gambling. If the American people are serious about curbing the degraded criminal life of their nation, they must take to the Krishna consciousness movement and try to create the kind of human society advised in Bhagavad Gita Chaturvarnyam Maya Shishtam Gunakarma Vibhagashah. Long ago, Lord Indra regretted his disrespect to his spiritual master Brahaspati. Similarly, it is advised that American people regret their mistaken advancement in civilization. They should take advice from the spiritual master, the representative of Krishna. If they do so, they will be happy and there will be an ideal nation to lead the entire world.
Basically, Prabhupada is saying that America should listen to him. Very interesting way, the way he puts it. Say the American people should regret their mistake in advancement civilization. They should take advice from spiritual master. He's telling that they should take his advice. So it's true that if the world had listened to Prabhupada, then world will be a much better place. But because very few people in the world listen to Prabhupada, so world is suffering so much today. Okay, next person, please read. Only the blue ones.
A civilization in which the people do not know how the representative of Narad and Krishna should be respected, how society should be formed, and how one should advance in Krishna consciousness. A society concerned only with manufacturing new cars and new skyscrapers every year and then breaking them to the pieces and making new ones may be technologically advanced, but it is not a human civilization. As stated in this verse, Dharmam Tena Paramam Vidu, such a society does not know the aim of life and the highest principle of religion.
Yeah, so here also Prabhupada is again pointing out, using Indra's situation, that unless we understand what dharma is, so that is the whole purpose of the sixth canto, to understand what is Sadharma. What Sadharma is, then the whole civilization is just waste of time. Okay, please read. Unfortunately,
although the American people are extremely eager to get out of materialistic chaos, they are sometimes found to patronize the makers of stone boats that will not help them. They must take the proper boat offered by Krishna in the form of the Krishna consciousness movement. Then they will be easily saved. If society is guided by political diplomacy, with one nation maneuvering against another, it will certainly sink like a stone boat. Political maneuvering and diplomacy will not save human society. People must take to Krishna consciousness to understand the aim of life, to understand God, and to fulfill the human mission.
so we also have to see how many stone boats we have in our life. It's not only that Prabhupada is talking about American people, that they have stone boats. We may also have some stone boats in our life, thinking that this boat will save me, that boat will save me. So we should also imagine our own life for such stone boats. And if we board that stone boat, then that boat will sink us. It will not take us across the ocean of material existence. Okay, please read.
In Srimad Bhagavatam,
A disciple should never be
in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 17, Text 27, the spiritual master is also called Acharyam Mam Vijnaniyan. The Supreme Personality of Godhead says that one should respect the spiritual master, accepting him as the Lord himself. Nava manyeta karhichit. One should not disrespect the Acharya at any time. Na martya buddhya suyeta. One should never think the Acharya an ordinary person.
Yeah, sometimes, we see the spiritual master moving in front of us, like one of us. He is with us, he is eating with us, he is talking to us, and he is doing various activities, and then he is involved in various things. And we tend to take the spiritual master for granted. We think, okay, I'm also a devotee, he's also a devotee. He is more advanced devotee, I am less advanced devotee. Otherwise, he is also like me. So we tend to think like that. So here, Prabhupada actually gives the proper mood of how to approach an Acharya. First of all, he says Acharya Mam Vijani, and that the Acharya is not different from the Supreme Lord. So this is the first thing which we should understand. Then, Naiva Manyeta Karhichit. One should not disrespect the Acharya. One should not think that, oh, okay, he is also an ordinary person who is subject to 4 defects. He can also commit mistakes. He also can be under illusion, and he also has cheating propensity. Like that, one is just simply, I am subject to 4 defects. The Acharya is also subject to 4 defects. One should not think like that. One should not think that he is an ordinary person. Okay, so these 3 things are very important in appreciating the importance of the spiritual master in our life. Then we can take the spiritual master also seriously. Otherwise, you think, okay, saying something is nice, but it's okay. We don't have to worry too much about it. We may have that attitude. Take it easy attitude. Okay, please read.
Therefore, one who worships Govinda must satisfy him by worshipping the Brahmanas and cows. If a government worships the Brahmanas, the cows, and Krishna, Govinda, it is never defeated anywhere. Otherwise, it must always be defeated and condemned everywhere. At the present moment, all over the world, governments have no respect for Brahmanas, cows, and Govinda, and consequently, there are chaotic conditions all over the world.
See, the very, very simple analysis, but very practical analysis, which Prabhupada gives, that why there is chaos all over the world. The reason why there is chaos all over the world is that there is no respect for the Govinda and Go and Brahmana. So when there is no respect for Govinda, Go and Brahmana, then the society cannot be peaceful. It's a very simple analysis, but profound analysis, which Prabhupada gives. So practically also we see wherever these 3 are respected, then there is naturally happiness and peace. Whenever these 3 are not respected, then there is so much disturbance. Practically we can see this. So therefore, Prabhupada gives some very nice advice that what we should do. Okay, please read.
Amarendhari Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. Therefore, if one is advanced in the science of Krishna consciousness, regardless of his position in human society, he may become a spiritual master.
Yeah, this is something which Prabhupada consistently maintains, and we have also practically seen our society that there are great devotees who are spiritual masters, but they are not Brahmanas by birth. Okay.
One who accepts the post of a spiritual master neutralize the sinful reaction of a Yajman, the one on whose behalf he performed yajna.
So even in our case, the spiritual master accepts the sinful reactions of the disciples. So therefore, the disciples have to be careful not to commit any sin because that directly affects the spiritual master. Okay, please read.
Antayami Balram Prabhuji.
A first-class Brahmana does not accept any rewards from his disciples or Yajman. Practicing austerities and penances, he instead goes to the agricultural field and collects food grains left by the agriculturist to be collected by Brahmanas. Similarly, such Brahmanas go to marketplaces where grains are purchased and sold wholesale, and there they collect grains left by the merchants. In this way, such exalted Brahmanas maintain their bodies and families. In other words, a pure Brahmana voluntarily accepts a life of poverty and lives in complete dependence on the mercy of the Lord.
So this is Brahminical lifestyle. To accept voluntary poverty is Brahminical lifestyle. So it's very difficult to be a Brahmana. It's not so easy. Okay, please read.
Antayami Balram Prabhuji, can you please continue?
The conclusion is that although a Brahmana may receive much opulence from his disciples, he should not utilize the rewards of his priesthood for his personal benefit. He must use them for the service of the Supreme Personality of God.
Okay, so then the Narayana Kavacha shield is mostly translations. Okay, please read the purport.
May Sanat Kumar protect me
Read
from.
the purport. We already read the
I'm
translations.
sorry.
Just read the
Lusty desires are very strong in everyone, and they are the greatest impediment to the discharge of devotional service. Therefore, those who are very much influenced by lusty desires are advised to take shelter of the Sanat Kumar, the great brahmachari devotee. Narad Muni. Everyone engaged in deity worship, whether at home or in temple, should always seek the mercy of Dev Rishi Narada in order to avoid the 32 offenses while worshipping the deity.
Yeah, so Prabhupada identifies that lust is the greatest enemy of the devotee. Of course, Krishna also says that Kamesha, Krodesha, Rajogana, Samidvaha, Mahashano, Mahapapma, Vidyena, Mihavalina. So, because of lust, we may tend to commit activities which we know it is not appropriate. Knowingly, we may commit sin. That is because of excessive influence of lust. So therefore, here in the Narayana Kavacha, it is given that one may worship Sanat Kumara to overcome lust, and then one may worship Narad Muni to overcome the tendency to commit offense to the deities while worshipping them. We should be careful when we worship deities. We should be very careful not to commit any offenses. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Nibol, yes. Tell me.
May I ask one question, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please.
So, Prabhuji, how we can take shelter of Chatuskumar and Narad Muni if I want to avoid any matlab, mistake during deity worship? So, may we worship before starting deity worship to Narad Muni, or how we can serve him?
Yeah, we can, sometimes we can sing the glorification of Narad Muni by this bhajan, Narada Muni Bhajaya Vina Radhika Ramana Namine. This nice glorification of Narad Muni. So we can glorify Narad Muni like that. Or we can just pray to Narad Muni, and we can have a picture of Narad Muni and pray to him, saying that please help me. Or mentally we can offer prayers to Narad Muni before starting the activities of deity worship. So same goes with Sanat Kumar also. We can do that. Yes, Rukmini Harisevini.
Prabhuji, can we say like that once one crosses the anasniti stage and reach at Nishtha, so lusty desires are gone? Is it right to say? Second question, that I have heard in the lecture that by our own efforts, lusty desire doesn't go. We need really a mercy of a Vaishnava to get out of it. So is it true, Prabhuji?
So, whatever you heard in the lecture is not only true for lusty desire, it's true for everything. We cannot do anything by our own effort. We cannot do any aspect of bhakti by our own effort. We cannot get bhakti by our own effort. Forget doing any other aspect of bhakti. You very clearly said, Janma koti sukritayar na labhyate. Even if you do millions of lifetimes of pious activities, you cannot get bhakti. You can get bhakti only from the devotee, from the pure devotee. So, the pure devotee's mercy is required to get bhakti. Pure devotee's mercy is required to practice bhakti. And pure devotee's mercy is required to get purified ourselves. But it doesn't mean that we have to sit quietly and then wait for pure devotee's mercy. And then pure devotee's mercy is like electricity. Suddenly you will see pure devotee, some electricity will flow from you, from the pure devotee to you. And then you will get an electric shock and then you will become purified. It is not like that. Pure devotee's mercy comes in the form of what? It comes in the form of what? How do we get pure devotee's mercy?
Instructions.
Yes, it comes in the form of his instructions. It comes in the form of his Vani. So one who takes shelter of that Vani and try to practice what instructions he has given, that sincerity brings the empowerment. Like we see in that third canto, we see in the second canto, Brahma is very sincere. So therefore, that sincerity of Brahma, it attracts the Lord's mercy and the Lord empowers Brahma to do various activities of creation. So same way, when we are sincere to follow the instructions of a pure devotee, then we attract not only his mercy, we also attract the mercy of the whole parampara and ultimately mercy of Krishna. So we are all dependent on the mercy. So our activities are there to show that we are open to receive that mercy. That is what our activities are. Shilanam. Shilanam means cultivation. Cultivation means preparing the field. The preparing the field, protecting the field, watering the root, all the different activities, they actually form cultivation. Cultivation in Nectar of Devotion, it is given Anukulya Krishna Silanam. Silanam means cultivation. So all these different activities, they constitute cultivation. So we do all those activities. So simply to prepare the field of our heart so that the mercy of rain can fall into that and the seed can nicely germinate and it can go. So that is one part. Now, lusty desires, will it go away after anartha nivritti? Yes, it will go away after anartha nivritti, but it will come back if we do offenses. So the greatest danger in the life of a devotee is Vaishnava aparadha. Because if he commit Vaishnava aparadha, then naturally his progress in devotional service will get seriously affected, will get stunted. And then he will become victim of lusty desires. He will become victim of three modes. He will become victim of various anarthas. He will become victim of various things which he has been diligently trying to avoid. So therefore, one should not become complacent, thinking that, oh, I have overcome all my anarthas. Now I don't have any problem. I am Nishtha man or I am Nishtha woman. Now I can do whatever I want because no more anartha nivritti in my life. This should not become like that. So anartha nivritti means that one becomes humble. This is the very nature of anartha nivritti. And one becomes very, very careful not to commit any offense towards the lotus feet of Vaishnavas. So the different type of offense is there. There is 4 type of offense which is there. There is Jiva Aparad, there is Nama Aparad, there is Krishna Aparad, there is Vaishnava Aparad. So Nama Aparad, we know This is very easy. We know all the 10 offenses. Every day we recite before chanting, hopefully. And then there is Jiva Aparad, means what constitutes Jiva Aparad? What constitutes Jiva Aparad?
Saying bad to anybody, doing any knowingly, unknowingly doing anything bad to any living entity, ants, animals, plants, taking more than which is required, like eating more, all these things.
Okay. Anybody else? What constitutes Jiva Aparad?
I mean, hurting somebody also, Prabhuji, or insulting also somebody comes into Jiva Prad.
Okay. What else? What else constitutes Jiva Aparad?
I think giving any kind of anxiety to any living being is Jiva Pradha.
Oh, we cannot say like this. This is a very generic statement. If you go and tell someone to chant Hare Krishna, and if he is a neophyte person, or if he's a non-devotee, he'll become very anxious. He'll say that, oh, this fellow is troubling me so much. He's asking me to chant Hare Krishna. Then he's having a lot of anxiety by seeing you. That doesn't constitute Jiva Aparad. So we should not try to generalize statements like this, giving any anxiety of any kind to anybody. No, how can it be? Sometimes a preacher is a source of anxiety to a person who is not a devotee. But that anxiety which the preacher creates to him is good for him, because by that anxiety, sometimes he may become devotee. Like when I came to Krishna consciousness, my Shiksha Guru used to call me every day and ask me, are you chanting your rounds? Are you chanting your rounds? Very nicely, very politely, smilingly, he'll ask me. And how many days I will tell him that I am not chanting? How many days I'll tell him that I will chant tomorrow? There's also a limit to it, no? Then I thought, this man, he's not leaving me, so at least let me chant for him. When he calls me, then I can tell, yes, I chanted. Then I started telling him I chanted. Then he started asking me, how many rounds you're chanting? Then after some time, he started following with me, are you chanting 16 rounds? Are you chanting 16 rounds? Are you chanting 16 rounds? I don't know what to do. We have to chant 16 rounds because he's asking. One side is a source of anxiety that he is constantly asking that am I chanting 16 rounds or not. But the other side, that only made me devotee. Otherwise, if he had not asked me, are you chanting 16 rounds, I would not have become devotee at all. I'd be rotting somewhere in I don't know what place, God forsaken place, somewhere I will be rotting. I would not have become devotee. I would not have had the opportunity of reading proper books, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. So, in one sense, preaching creates anxiety to people who are not Krishna conscious. And the other sense, preaching also creates anxiety to demons. Demons become very anxious. Like, for example, when Prahlad was preaching to his friends, his father Hiranyakashipu was very anxious. He was thinking, hey, what is this boy? He's creating so much problem. But that anxiety is rocket. So therefore, we cannot generalize saying that making any kind of anxiety to any living entity constitutes Jiva Prad. It is not like that. So we should generally be very careful to make generic statements. We should think about a generic statement. Does it apply in all conditions? Or are there exceptions? Then we should make a statement, and then we should also add exceptions. That, okay, creating any kind of anxiety to any living entity is Vaishnava. But that doesn't include the anxiety which the preachers of Krishna consciousness, they may cause to innocent people to bring them to Krishna consciousness, or demoniac people who are against Krishna consciousness. So like that, there should be some exception to it. Okay. Coming back to the question. What constitutes Jiva Prad? Anybody else?
Prabhuji, hurting someone through your words or your actions, or doing unjust to somebody.
Okay. Again, we should not be very general. Huh? Again, you are making a generic statement. Just now I gave big lecture, don't make generic statements. Don't make generic statements. If you talk about Krishna to demoniac people, you are hurting them by words and actions. So, anyway, I already said whatever I had to say. So please be very careful in making generic statements. Don't make generic statements. Okay. Okay. We come back to the question. What constitute Jiva Aparad? Jagat Mata Sachi Mataji, you have some opinion on what constitutes Jiva Aparad?
Yes, but it's like being envious or jealous to the people around us or hurting the people knowingly, intentionally, causing them pain. Apart from being uh, having a motive to be कि उनको वो अपनी लाइफ में improve करें. Sometimes we hurt our kids and the people around us so that they can improve.
Okay, very good. Okay, thank you. Nice. Anybody else? Okay. So what constitutes Jiva Aparad? By definition, what constitutes Jiva Aparad is that stopping the living entity in its natural progression in Krishna consciousness constitutes Jiva Aparad. Okay. This constitutes Jiva Aparad. Any living entity is naturally progressing towards Krishna consciousness. So if we disturb that natural progression towards Krishna consciousness, that constitutes Jiva Aparad. That includes everything which all of you said, this, that. Because if we go and hurt someone, then if he becomes inimical to Krishna consciousness because of that, then we are actually disturbing his natural progression in Krishna consciousness. That's why Prabhupada said that devotees should be like gentlemen. Devotees should behave like a nice gentleman, like nice ladies, nice gentlemen. Why Prabhupada said these things? In one lecture, Prabhupada says that we should be Sushila. Sushila means well behaved. In another lecture, Prabhupada says that that you should not. He writes to one of his disciples. He says that so far I have got good name in the society. You should not spoil it. You should try to maintain the good name. And then he says, like father, like son. So Prabhupada is expecting us to behave nicely in a very responsible way. Prabhupada is expecting us to be Sushila. Why? Because by doing that, we can avoid Jiva Aparad. Jiva Aparad means that stopping a living entity in its natural progression towards Krishna consciousness. All non-veg eating, everything comes in that. Everything comes in that. In generic definition. Okay. Of course, Nama Aparad we know, Vaishnava Aparad we know, Seva Aparad we know, all these things we know. So we should try to avoid offenses. So if we don't try to avoid offenses, then that will become the reason to fall victim to lust. It's clear?
What is natural progression of a Jiva Prabhuji towards Krishna?
Like for example, from animal body, they are continuously progressing towards human body, right? They're exhausting their karma in different animal bodies, and they're continually progressing towards human body. In human body, then the natural opportunity to become Krishna conscious is there. Okay. So in animal body, if they are disturbed by killing them and eating them, when it is not required. When it is required, we can do it. But when it is not required, like, some animals are carnivorous. They have to kill and eat other animals. So their killing and eating the animal does not stop the animal from their natural progression in Krishna consciousness. It simply exhausts their karma. But us killing a human being, killing and eating an animal, it stops the animal's natural progression in Krishna consciousness. Why? He is chanting mantra, Mam Saha, I am like you. So when this soul in the chicken body will get a human body, now he has to search for the soul who was in the human body and killed him and made biryani and ate chicken biryani. And then go and find that soul in a chicken body and kill that soul and make chicken biryani and eat. So now, see, instead of becoming Krishna conscious, he has become chicken biryani conscious. Why? Because somebody else killed the chicken when he was having human form. So now the chicken has to get an opportunity to kill that human being who is now in the form of chicken. So now he has got human form, but instead of running behind Krishna, he is running behind the chicken, the so-called chicken. You see how it is happening. When
The human form of life is having an option, Prabhuji. He go for a chicken or he don't go for a chicken. He's having an option.
yeah, he has option, but the option comes with reaction. It's not that the option comes without reaction. You have the option to go and eat chicken biryani, but the reaction to it is that you have to become chicken, and then that chicken has to become human being and eat you as biryani. That is the reaction to it. So it's not an option without reaction. So when you choose options whose reactions are inauspicious to yourself and to others, then you are actually stopping them in their natural progression to Krishna consciousness. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhuji. And
Not,
Prabhuji, another clarification.
yeah.
If any living entity in the human form of life, and if he is killing a chicken, and if I'll forbid him that why you are doing this, by this work you'll have to take this cock like a chicken life, and my this word is hurting him. So is this a jiva aparadha or not?
No, it is not Jiva Aparadha. But you should do it in such a way, or at least you should try to do it in such a way that there is some effect to it. And that effect actually makes him Krishna conscious. So that is where the ability of the preacher comes. You can, like, for example, I have always quoted this example. When I was a small boy, some Christian preacher, they knocked my door. So I opened the door, and that fellow started shouting at me, "You are a sinner. Jesus only can save you." I became very irritated. I told him, "What? I am a sinner. Who are you to tell me that I am a sinner?" And I scolded back at him by saying that you are a sinner, your father is a sinner, your grandfather is a sinner, run away from here. Ask Jesus to save you first and your family, then come to me. You understand? So there is a way of talking as a preacher. You don't go to people and then start saying, "Hey, you are eating chicken biryani, so now you are going to go to hell, and in hell they will make biryani and chicken will eat you." It's true. There's a hellish plan. Hell is the planet called Raurava, and there all the non-veg eaters will go, and different hellish animals and birds, which are carnivores in nature, they will come and eat their body. It is true. What you are saying is correct. But saying it like this at the first moment is not going to make them Krishna conscious. So, first of all, we don't tell people all these things. We simply give them prasad. We ask them to chant the holy name. We ask them to dance in kirtan. We ask them to read Prabhupada book. We ask them to do so many things. We ask them to come to a program. So we have a whole package as to how we deal with them. And then we show them love and care, and they get attracted to Krishna consciousness. Then we tell them, "Hey, you are eating chicken, you are going to go to hell, and the chicken will come and eat you in hell." So the guy is already ready to listen to you. So that's the time you are telling them that all these things. Okay. So, of course, it's not a jiva aparadha. But as a preacher, you should also use your intelligence how to present Krishna consciousness in a way that will be attractive to people. And they will take up to Krishna consciousness and eventually give up all this nonsense. Does it make sense?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Any other question, comment on Jiva Aparadh? Okay. Okay. Okay, please read.
Lord Balaram is a Shesha incarnation, and therefore he can save us from angry serpents or the envious persons who are always ready to attack.
So out of these two, who is most dangerous?
Envious persons, persons.
Envious person are more dangerous than angry serpents. Because envious persons are more poisonous than angry serpents. So therefore, we should not have any envy in our heart, because then we are worse than a poisonous snake. And we should worship Balaram so that we get saved from snake bite. Okay. Please read.
If one wants to be protected from the reactions of ignorance, even in this age of Kali, one may consult the books left by Srila Vyasadeva.
So best book is Bhagavatam, because this is Nigamakalpataror Galitam Phalam. This is the mature fruit of all the Vedic knowledge. So simply we should take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then we can always be protected from Kali Yuga. The more we take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, the more we can be protected from Kali Yuga. Okay, please read. Please read.
One should therefore surrender to Lord Buddha so that he can help one avoid misusing the injunctions of the Vedas. Now, in the beginning of Kali Yuga, many irreligious principles are in effect, and as Kali Yuga advances, many pseudo-religious principles will certainly be introduced, and people will forget the real religious principles enunciated by Lord Krishna. Therefore, the beginning of Kali Yuga, namely principles of surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord.
Yeah. So we can already see lot of spirituality is becoming very vogue in Kali Yuga. Lot of people are, so some people start saying that I am a spiritual person, but I am not religious. So there is this nonsense of trying to split religion from spirituality and trying to understand religion as faith. So Prabhupada makes distinction between religion and faith. Faith you can change, but religion you cannot change. Religion is dharma. You cannot change dharma. But faith you can change. Today I can be Hindu, tomorrow I can be Christian, day after tomorrow I can be Muslim, then I can be Zoroastrian, then I can be Buddhist, then I can be atheist, then I can get bored of everything and then I can become Hindu again. Ghar wapasi. So all this is possible. This is change of faith. But that doesn't change the situation of the soul. So therefore, this distinction should be clearly made, and where distinction should not be made, those distinctions should not be made also. So these things are important. And Kali Yuga is full of pseudo religion, and Prabhupada actually quotes one such pseudo religion, which is very, very famous. Please read.
Maji, please.
Yet mata tat patha. Talking to me, Mataji?
Yeah, please read.
Yat mata tat patha. According to this view, there are hundreds and thousands of different opinions in human society, and each opinion is a valid religious principle.
This philosophy of rascals has killed the religious principles mentioned in the Vedas. And such philosophies will become increasingly influential as Kali Yuga progresses. So we don't have to say that who follows this philosophy of rascals. There are some famous people in India who actually profess this philosophy of rascals, which is Jatamar tatopat. Whatever you think, that is your way. If I think that every day I can drink whiskey and go to Vaikuntha, that is my way to go to Vaikuntha. Jatapat tatapat. But every day if you drink whiskey, you will not go to Vaikuntha. Every day if you drink whiskey, you will go to hell called Ayapana. There's a hellish planet called Ayapana, where the drunkard fellow, his mouth will be torn open and molten iron will be poured into him. So this is where he will go. He will not go to Vaikuntha. Simply thinking that every day I will drink whiskey and then I will go to Vaikuntha is just wishful thinking. It's not going to take us to Vaikuntha. First of all, it will take you to doctor. And then next it will take you to hell. So therefore, Jatamat Tatapat is a rascal philosophy. And big people speak big rascal philosophies in Kali Yuga. So we have to be very careful with such philosophies. And Prabhupada has consistently criticized them. Of course, in Kali Yuga, even within ISKCON, if you criticize, then they send you to, they'll ban you and they try to send you here and there. This is all modern ISKCON. Sometimes modern ISKCON can be very funny. Okay. Okay, please read.
The sword, bow, club, disc, and everything, decorating the personal body of the Lord and the spiritual living force. Therefore, the Lord is called Adavya Janana,
Advaya Jnana. Advaya Jnana.
Advaya Jnana, indicating that there is no difference between him, his names, his forms, his qualities, his weapons, and so on.
So recently we had a family get together, and in our family we have two kinds of devotees. One set of devotees, we are all ISKCON devotees. Then also the other set of devotees who are also Sri Vaishnavas. So we had some nice discussion about the Lord's pastime together. Like they spoke something from the Sri Vaishnava literature, we spoke something from Bhagavatam. So it was nice to have actually this glorification of the Lord. Everybody sitting together as family and then glorifying the Lord. We just had this discussion. So that time, this Mataji, who is a Sri Vaishnava devotee, she was telling about Bali Maharaj's pastime. And she asked this question that when Shukracharya became like a bug or beetle, and he was obstructing Bali Maharaj's the water jug, which was from which water had to flow. Shukracharya went and blocked. Then Vamanadev, he used darba grass to poke at the beetle and then remove it. So she asked this question that who became that darba? So then there was some discussion that who became that darba, and later she explained that Sudarshan Chakra became that darba. Because Vamanadev was looking for something to clear that beetle away. And immediately Sudarshan Chakra, with the mind of the Lord, immediately understood that, oh, the Lord requires darba. So immediately Sudarshan Chakra took the form of darba. So then she was explaining how Sudarshan Chakra is so attendant to the need of the Lord, that sometimes the Lord does not even have to send the Sudarshan Chakra. It does not even have to do prayogam. Prayogam means to send it. Sudarshan Chakra by itself moves, and then it goes and does whatever the Lord wants and then comes back. So this also, we are also discussing about how Durvasa was chased with Sudarshan Chakra by how the Sudarshan Chakra on its own took action. So this way, so the different paraphernalia of the Lord, they are all personalities. They are not only weapons, but they have consciousness, they have personalities, and they are non-different from the Lord. That's why it is called as Advaya Jnana, non-duality of knowledge. This is called Advaya Jnana. What is non-duality of knowledge? That the Lord's paraphernalia, Lord's name, Lord's entourage, Lord's dham, they're all not different from him. They're all absolute in nature. So this is called Advaya Jnana. So some interesting stuff about the, yes, Jagat Mata, Sachi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, just I was thinking this question: how the acharyas are same as the at the same platform as the Lord, as because when they are in this body, they have to follow the restrictions of this body.
Yeah.
But
Correct.
as now you are saying that at the level of thinking, as you said, Sudarshana know what is in the mind of uh, uh, what is in the mind of the Vamandev, and the same way Garuda also understand. In the same way, uh, in the when our Bahadur the temple is opening, somebody asks our Guru Maharaj that what is your next plan, Maharaj? Then Guru Maharaj said, my plan is Krishna's plan. So this is the thing, that they are at the platform of that of the Lord, what the Lord wants. Is it correct, Prabhuji?
Yeah, it is correct. The pure devotees, they know the heart of Krishna. Like the Lord says to Durvasa, Sadhavo Hridayam Mayam Sadhanam Hridayam Tekvaham. He says that I am in the heart of my devotees are in my heart. And he says, they don't know anybody other than me, I don't know anybody other than them. So therefore, the nature of pure devotee is that he understands what the Lord wants from him. So therefore, he is undisturbed about the apparent success or failure or the apparent activities of this material world. You will find this prominently in this pastime. This is a prominent aspect of this pastime. You have actually touched the most important aspect of this pastime. The most important learning of this pastime is how a pure devotee is undisturbed by all circumstances because he knows the heart of the Lord. So here, there's a nice pastime in Chaitanya Charitamrita where the Rath Yatra is happening. And then the Lord is singing, Lord Chaitanya is dancing in front of Jagannath Rath. And he is singing some song. And it is like mundane love song. He is singing some mundane love song. Like 500 years before equivalent of some Bollywood music, let us say. So he is singing some mundane love song about a girl thinking about some boy. He is singing some song and dancing. And everyone is surprised why the Lord is singing this song. Then later, Swarup Damodar and Mahaprabhu, they went to the place where Haridas Thakur was staying, where Rupa Goswami was also there. And in the hut, Mahaprabhu found one palm leaf which had been freshly written and had been tucked in the roof. So Mahaprabhu took that palm leaf and then he was reading, and there was beautiful handwriting of Rupa Goswami, where he had quoted one verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, where it explains how Radharani was missing Krishna. And he had equated that verse to that song which Mahaprabhu was singing. So then Mahaprabhu asked Swarup Damodar, hey, Swarup, nobody knows why I was singing that song and what the reason I sang that song. But here I find that Rupa Goswami has written what is in my heart. How it is possible? Mahaprabhu is asking Swarup Damodar, how is possible that he knows my heart? So then Swarup Damodar says that it means that he has completely received your mercy. That's what Swarup Damodar says. It means that he has completely received your mercy. So therefore, this is the quality of pure devotee, that he has completely received the mercy of the Lord. And because he has completely received the mercy of the Lord, He is undisturbed in all circumstances. He knows that, okay, this is the Lord's plan. I have to cooperate with the Lord's plan. That's it. I have to play my part in the Lord's plan. You will find it very prominently in Vritra's pastime. Okay. Please read.
Since both cause and effect are the Supreme Lord, there is no difference between cause and effect. Consequently, the ornaments and weapons of the Lord being expansion of his spiritual energy are not different from him. There is no difference between the Lord and his variously presented energies.
So there's also this. Okay, please read.
The prayer from here, the prayers,
Mm-hmm.
the prayers of the ornaments and carries of the Lord is not false, for they are as good as the Lord. Since the Lord is all pervasive, he exists in everything, and everything exists in him. Therefore, wors- even worship of the Lord's weapon or ornaments has the same potency as worship of the Lord.
So the Mayavadis, they misuse this philosophy. They think that everything is Lord. So therefore they say, oh, if you worship cat and dog also, it is same as worshipping the Lord. No. That which is connected to the Lord has the same potency of the Lord. Tadhyanam samarchanam. It is said that Tadhyanam samarchanam. Aradhyam sarvesham Vishnur Aradhyam param. Tasmat parataram devi Tadhyanam samarchanam. This is said by Lord Shiva to Parvati. So that which is connected to the Lord has the same potency as the Lord. Not that everything has the same potency as the Lord. But Mayavadis, they either one side they refuse the Lord, the existence of the Lord. So therefore they say that, oh, this is all very bogus. But other side they claim that everything is God. Everything is God. Jatomat tatopat. Everything is God. So therefore, the Mayavadis are always eternally confused. Unless they get the association of a pure devotee, they cannot understand what is the real truth. So therefore, here Prabhupada nicely explains that what Advaya Jnana means. Advaya Jnana means that understanding that the Lord and his paraphernalia are non-different. Yeah, Daridra Narayan is also part of it. Narayan has become Daridra. How he will become Daridra? He is Lakshmipati. They don't have any brain. Okay.
The Lord is always present everywhere by his name, form, qualities, attributes, and paraphernalia, and they all have equal power to protect the devotees.
So therefore, we can pray to the Lord, to his weapons, everything. Okay. Please read the last part.
All mantras should be received through the authorized Guru, and the disciple must satisfy the Guru in all respect after surrendering at his lotus feet. In the Padma Puran, it is also said, Sampradaya Vihina ye mantraste niswala matah.
Yeah. So
Lord Narayan Kavach.
even though it is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita that the holy name does not depend on the formality of the initiation. And very clearly said in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The holy name does not depend on the formality of initiation. But still, at the same time, all the acharyas have said the importance of accepting the Guru. So, therefore, the holy name does not depend on the formality of initiation, should be understood as representing the independence of the holy name. The holy name is independent, just like the Lord is independent. The holy name is also independent. So the holy name itself can independently act like a guru. But just like the Lord himself is independent to act like a guru, but he still advises Arjuna to go and surrender to a guru. Tadvidi pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshantire jnanam jnaninas. So therefore, both these things should be understood as simultaneously existing. The independence of the holy name in not waiting for the formality of initiation and the need to accept the spiritual master so that the mantra can be properly chanted. Both of them have to be understood as coexisting with each other. They are not contradictory to each other. They are coexisting to each other. Because it is the direction of the Lord, who is not different from the holy name, that the spiritual master should be accepted. So therefore, one should not have this misunderstanding that, oh, I did not get initiated. Sometimes some type of Ritviks have this misunderstanding. They think that they don't have to get initiated. They are also a type of Ritviks. They think that they don't have to get initiated. They think, oh, holy name does not need initiation. It's there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I can consider myself initiated by the holy name. I don't have to go and surrender to a spiritual master. This is all nonsensical thought. The thought is all not a valid thought that, okay, this is how it is. It's not like that. So to think that we can get initiated from Prabhupada or the holy name does not require initiation, all these thoughts are based on Mayavadi conception. So therefore, one should be very careful not to get victimized by such conceptions. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this chapter, which is Narayana Kavacha Shield. You have any comments, questions before we go to the next chapter, which is dealing with the appearance of our hero, who is Vritrasura, the hero of this chapter, who makes a late entry. Okay, any comments, questions, anything?
Prabhuji,
Yes.
Prabhuji, may I ask one question?
Yes.
Prabhuji, in the previous matlab, before some slokas, it's written that Guru used to take all the reactions of his disciple while giving initiation.
What is
So,
that?
Prabhuji,
What
at
is
the
it?
time of initiation or diksha,
Hmm.
Guru used to take all the reactions of
Yes,
a
yes, sure.
disciple.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've listened that after this also, when any disciple do any wrong activity, Guru has to take his 1/6 of reaction of his karma.
Okay.
Is this true? And second thing is, Prabhuji, Guru has to take care of his disciple till the time when the disciple return to back to Godhead. And till that time, Guru has to take responsibility of his disciple. Is this true, Prabhuji?
So both are true, but conditions apply. Both are true, but what?
Condition apply.
Conditions apply. So the
Which
first point is that yes, in the process of initiation, it is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Krishna accepts the disciple as good as himself. Means
diksha.
that Krishna accepts the disciple as pure. Krishna is pure, so the disciple who has accepted Diksha is also pure. They both are pure. That is what as good as himself means. Means that he is cleansed of all his sinful reactions. Everything has been finished. So there's nothing left. So that is the process of Diksha. Doesn't matter whether, the banana or something which you throw in the fire in the initiation yajna burns or it doesn't burn. Doesn't matter. Sometimes people are very particular, whether it has burnt or it has not burnt. It doesn't depend on whether it burns or not burns. The very process of Diksha makes the disciple pure. But if the disciple commits sinful activity after he accepts initiation, then that things they are affecting the spiritual master. Because by an injunction of Shastra, a spiritual master is not supposed to accept unqualified disciples. So therefore, there is some reaction which the spiritual master has to face for accepting unqualified disciples. But that reaction is something which is between Krishna and the spiritual master. So is more like some little bit of a mild slap or like some rap in the wrist, as they say in English. Is not something which is very serious. I mean, it is serious, but it does not stop. It does not interfere with the pure devotion of the spiritual master. It interferes with the vapu of the spiritual master. The vapu of the spiritual master suffers. So that's why you find that most gurus in ISKCON, if you see most of them, they have problems. They have disease, they have problems, they have health issues. Most gurus have. Why? Because they are actually going through the reaction of the disciples misbehaving. That's the reason why they are suffering. Otherwise, why they should suffer? They have dedicated their life for spreading the Krishna conscious movement. There is no cause for them to suffer, but still they are suffering. That's mainly because of the reactions of the disciples who are unqualified. But still, to spread the Krishna consciousness, they are taking that risk. So therefore, they are also very dear to Krishna. One side, they are suffering, but other side, we should also think, they should also not, oh, they are suffering, so Krishna has abandoned them. No, it's not like that. They're also very dear to Krishna because Krishna knows that, okay, these people are taking a lot of risk for me. So therefore, they are also very dear to Krishna. So these things simultaneously exist. So therefore, as disciples, we should be very careful that we should not do some nonsense. We should try to follow our initiation vows strictly, and we should not try to be lackadaisical in our spiritual life. We should do things properly. And some of you might become gurus. So you should know that becoming guru is not easy. It's a heavy business. It's not something which is, from outside, it looks very nice and attractive. Oh, you're guru, you have so many disciples, and then when you go there, everybody jumping, Jai Guru Deva, Jai Guru Deva. It looks like, so many people are willing to cook so many things for you. And, you travel from one place to another. From outside, it looks very glamorous. But the glamour is only outside. Is a very, very heavy service. The most difficult service to perform in spiritual life is to become spiritual master. It's the most difficult service. So therefore, one should be very careful. Yes, Mataji.
I have heard in the lecture that if a spiritual master doesn't know you, because a spiritual master has thousands of disciples, so this is a disciple's misfortune. Because if a disciple seriously serves, then spiritual master somehow or other comes to know by other devotees that this devotee. So I just wanted to ask that Krishna and spiritual master is a representative of Krishna. Krishna knows everything about us because he's there everywhere. He's as Paramatma sitting in our heart. So as same as the spiritual master, sometimes it can happen that how to understand that my spiritual master knows about me.
So this is the problem of hearing many lectures. That nowadays many devotees are speaking many things, and many devotees are listening also. So there is unlimited speaking and unlimited listening. Specifically, Rupa Goswami says that one should not read too many books. So if social media had been there during Rupa Goswami's time, Rupa Goswami also would have written that one should not hear too many lectures on social media. But social media was not there in his time. So he wrote, one should not read too many books. I'm not against hearing from devotees, but don't mistake me. But I'm just saying that, we should follow some system in listening to devotees, that whom we listen and what we do. And generally, it is a good practice that if you listen from someone and if you have a doubt, then go back to him and clarify the doubt. Don't listen from someone and try to clarify the doubt with somebody else. So that's also sometimes can lead to some misunderstanding, because you're saying something which I only understand the context of what you say, but the lecture may have a completely broader context or a different context. But I give answer based on the context which you draw. So sometimes there could be some opportunity for misunderstanding. So in general, it is not necessary that the spiritual master should know every disciple. The spiritual master knows every disciple. So now I made two statements which are contradictory to each other. I said, in general, it's not necessary that spiritual master should know every disciple. But I also said immediately the spiritual master knows every disciple. The answer lies in the connection between the spiritual master and disciple. The spiritual master and the disciple connection is through the connection of the super soul. I'll tell you one incident in my life. I was in Dubai and my spiritual master doesn't know me. He doesn't know me by name. He knows maybe that I exist. But I am a simple guy. Somehow I came to Mayapur and then now my spiritual master knows me. But I was in Dubai, I was among many congregation devotees. A very simple devotee, doing some service here and there, doing some preaching. So I was planning to leave Dubai. And there was like, I didn't lose my job. I didn't have a compulsion to leave Dubai. I just was done enough with my life, my professional life. I was just done enough. And I wanted to shift. I was thinking I'd go to Mayapur and then later go to South India and preach. I didn't even have plan of staying in Mayapur. I changed my plan after coming to Mayapur. My main idea was that I'll go to South India and preach. Anyway, the idea was that, okay, we go from Dubai to Mayapur, and then we put our son in Gurukul, then he goes to ashram. Then once he goes to ashram, we need not stay. So we come to South India and preach. And then now and then we go and see our son. That was the whole idea. Then later, when we went and we saw Gurukul and things like that, we changed our mind. We just stayed in Mayapur. Anyway, that's a completely different story. That got nothing to do with what I'm going to say. So I was looking for some instruction from my spiritual master that how does one change from one place to another place? Okay. So I didn't know. I had not so much approach to go and ask him, and neither I had the mindset to go and ask him. I generally try to not to crowd around my spiritual master. I just generally keep away. Only if there is need, I go to. Even now, I'm like that. Only if there's need, I go to him. Otherwise, I just stay back. I was thinking how to ask him what to do, but I was quite anxious. I wanted some instruction about it. And exactly at that time, my spiritual master came to Dubai. And we attended one class, his class in, it was done in a hotel. I still remember that hotel name. It was called Doha Palace Hotel. So there was a hall, big hall, banquet hall in the hotel, and the class was arranged in the hotel. In that hotel, the whole subject matter of his lecture was what is required to go from one place to another place. He just lectured on the whole subject matter. That was the only subject he lectured on. And he gave 3 clear criteria that if you want to go from one place to another place, you should fulfill these 3 criteria. So I got my answer. Without my spiritual master knowing my name, without my spiritual master knowing that I exist, maybe he knows that I exist. Without me asking that question to my spiritual master, without him having to answer to me, I got my answer. And exactly the answer which I wanted. So this is what I'm saying. The spiritual master necessarily may not know all his disciples, but the spiritual master knows his disciples. So that connection between the spiritual master and disciple is through the medium of the super soul. So therefore, when there is some need for the guidance from the spiritual master, and that guidance is arranged through the super soul in different ways, from the instruction of spiritual master or from Bhagavatam, from some devotees coming and giving you some guidance, or whatever ways. It may not one way or other, that need is fulfilled by the connection between the disciple and the spiritual master and the super soul. Now, having said this, there is a specific Vyas Puja lecture which my spiritual master gave in Mayapur on this verse in 11th canto, Acharyam Mam Vijaniyam Naiva Manyate Karhichit. So in that lecture, he also told that the disciple should not fail to communicate with the spiritual master. He said that don't assume that the spiritual master knows everything. The spiritual master is not Krishna. So therefore, you should communicate to the spiritual master. You should find time, you should find method and means to communicate with the spiritual master. So he gave that instruction also. So these things should be seen in totality, that one should do his duty, and at the same time, one should understand that there is a connection between the disciple and the spiritual master. Of course, just to conclude my experience with this whole shifting thing, later I did meet my spiritual master in one of the senior the leaders, the Yatra leaders' house, and I did get an opportunity, myself, my wife, we got an opportunity to personally discuss with him about the shift to Mayapur and things like that. And he gave some instructions about shifting to Mayapur, which is also very, very valuable. And till today, those instructions are holding true. So it's not that, oh, my spiritual master doesn't know my name, so I'm ruined. I am going to go to hell. It's not like that. So one should not get into that zone. But at the same time, one should try to sincerely serve the spiritual master. That is also true. Okay, now I took initiation. Okay, it's done. There are 50,000 disciples. I'm also one of them. So what difference it makes? Let me simply drift into Maya and listen to Maya's lullaby. It should not be like that also. One should try with all sincerity to serve the spiritual master. It doesn't matter whether the spiritual master knows your name or doesn't know your name, or the spiritual master may identify you or may not identify you. The connection is there. Many of Prabhupada disciples hardly saw Prabhupada, but they're so attached to Prabhupada because they actually felt attached to his Vani. And even many Prabhupada disciples I have seen, I've been hearing them last 10 years consistently during Prabhupada's Vyas Puja, Prabhupada's Tirobhav Titi in Mayapur. I've been hearing them. And consistently one theme comes out very strongly in their realizations as they speak about Prabhupada. All of them say that they actually feel more closer to Prabhupada, associating with his Vani. After so many years, they feel more closer to him. After having served him very sincerely, after hearing his Vani, after serving him, they feel more closer. So the transcendental connection between the spiritual master and the disciple by that sincere service, sincere medium of service is always very important. At the same time, one should not get so much hung up with this idea that, my spiritual master should, from the time immediately after he sees, he should stop everything and then he should start waving his hand at me and then saying, hey, Rukmini, Harisevini, how are you there? Where are you? How are you? You should not think all that. So, does it answer your question?
Thank you so very much.
Don't listen to too many lectures.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
If you want to listen, you listen to a lot of proper lectures. Is always, you can never get overloaded with proper lectures. You can never get overdose of proper lectures. You can never get over proper lectures. So as much as you want to overload, overdose yourself, you can listen to so many proper lectures. You can listen to. I'm not against, I'm making clear. I am not against broad listening, but then one should also have some discretion. At least listen to lectures of those people whom you can ask question if you have a doubt in that lecture. Okay. Don't try to listen to lecture of A and try to clarify the subject matter from B. That is not very good. Okay. Okay, so we go into appearance of demand with Asura if nobody else has any question. If anybody else has any questions, you'll fine. Anyone has to say something? Okay, everyone seems to be happy. Let us make Vritrasura appear. Chapter 9, Appearance of Demand, Vritrasura. Okay, so please read translations.
Then Shukdev Goswami continued, Vishvarupa, who was engaged as the priest of the demigods, had 3 heads. He used one to drink the beverage of Somarasa, another to drink wine, and the third to eat food. O King Parikshit, thus I have heard from authorities.
Somapitam, Surapitam, Annadam iti Shushruma. So the head with which he drank Somarasa, it represents the demigods. The head with which he drank the Sura drink or wine, this represents the head of demons. And the head with which he ate food, Annadam, grains, it represents the human beings. So he had 3 heads, and one head representing the demigods, one head representing the demons, and one head representing the human beings. So he was a very unique personality, Vishwarupa. So, but the personality is going to be in danger. Okay, so please read, continue.
Although modern scientists have invented...
Please read translation. We'll read translations now. Just read few translations, then we'll come back.
O Maharaj Parikshit, the demigods were related to Vishwarupa from his father's side, and therefore he visibly offered clarified butter in the fire while chanting mantras such as Indraya Idam Swaha. This is meant for King Indra, and Idam Agnaye, this is for the demigod of fire. He loudly chanted these mantras and offered each of the demigods his proper share.
Next.
Although offering clarified butter in the sacrificial fire in the name of demigods, without the knowledge of the demigods, he also offered oblations to the demons because they were his relatives through his mother.
Next.
Once upon a time, however, the king of heaven, Indra, understood that Vishwarupa was secretly cheating the demigods by offering oblations on the behalf of the demons. He became extremely afraid of being defeated by the demons. And in great anger at the Vishwarupa, he cut Vishwarupa's 3 heads from his shoulders.
Okay, so now I want to give an exercise to all of you. Okay, this exercise, it will continue till the end of this unit. And hopefully we'll have some time in the end of this unit to discuss this exercise. Okay. So the exercise is that you are going to see 2 leaders in this pastime. Okay. One is Indra, other is Vritrasura. You are going to see 2 leaders in this pastime. These 2 leaders, they will display different leadership qualities and characteristics. They will display different qualities. Okay. Some of these qualities are appropriate, some of these qualities are not appropriate. Okay. So, I request you to study the leadership or to observe and study the leadership style of Indra and Vritrashra. And then try to note down the different good or bad aspects of these leadership qualities and styles. And then in the end, we can discuss that what is the effect of these different leadership styles in ISKCON. And what will be the effect of having these qualities, either good or not so good qualities, in the leaders in ISKCON. And you will find that some of these qualities of these leaders, they're actually prominently there within ISKCON. And you'll find that they actually can cause a lot of good, and they could also cause a lot of disturbance. Like, for example, here it is seen that Indra feels very insecure. Previously, we found that Indra became victim of his pride. That was Indra. He became victim of his pride. Then we saw Indra running to Brahma to find solution to the problem. And then we saw Indra going and pacifying Vishwarup, who actually was not willing to take the position of the priest. Somehow or other, he spoke very nicely to Vishwarup, and then he made him accept it. And now we see the same Indra going and killing Vishwarup. Because he found that Vishwarup was favoring the demons secretly. So, and all these different activities of Indra is going to have different reactions, different it is going to put his own followers into different situations. So therefore, and now Vritrashra is going to come, and he is going to lead the demons. So there's going to be a fight between Indra and Vritrashra, the leader of the demigods and the leader of demons. And in the fight, they both are going to also exhibit different characteristics. So therefore, it will be good for all of you, because most of you are leaders already some way or other. And some of you will become, if you're not, you will quickly become leaders. So it will be a very good exercise for all of you to actually observe Indra and Vritrashra as leaders and see what kind of characters they display, and what is the effect of those characters on their own Krishna consciousness. What is the effect of those characters on their followers, and how we can draw some valuable management lessons from this pastime. This pastime is very good for management, because this pastime, in one sense, is more or less a management pastime. Of course, Bhagavatam talks a lot about Bhakti, but management of ISKCON is also about Bhakti. So it's not that management of ISKCON is like managing a profit-making company. The investment in ISKCON is Bhakti, and the profit in ISKCON is Bhakti. The method of management in ISKCON is Bhakti, and the reward of management in ISKCON is also Bhakti. So therefore, this is an observation of two leaders, both of whom are devotees. It's not that one is a demon, the other one is a devotee. Of course, from outside point of view, Indra is demigod, he is a devotee, and Vritrashra is demon. He is considered as the enemies of demigod. So, from external perspective, there is a hero, there is a villain. But when we get into this pastime, we will quickly find that there are only two heroes. There are no villains in this story. There's one hero and there's another superhero. The hero is Indra, and the superhero is Vritrashra. So there are no villains here. And even though they fight with each other, actually that fight is not a fight. So we'll see all that. But it will do a lot good for all of you to look at Indra and Vritrasura as leaders. It will do a lot good for all of you. So please look at them as leaders. Please see what kind of characteristics they exhibit, and please try to study the effect of those characteristics on their own Krishna consciousness and the effect of their characteristics on their followers. And then try to see your own leadership style and try to compare it with what you observe and see where you can improve somewhere. And we can also have general discussion on the effect of different leadership styles in ISKCON in the end of this pastime. So this is like an exercise for all of you. It's like continuous exercise. In the end, hopefully we'll have some time for it. Okay. Okay, please read the translation.
Thereafter, the head meant for drinking Somarasa was transformed into a Kapinjala, Prankolan, partridge. Similarly, the head meant for drinking wine was transformed into a Kalavinka, sparrow, and the head meant for eating food became a Tittiri, common partridge.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, next.
Although Indra was so powerful that he could neutralize the sinful reactions for killing a Brahmana, he repentantly accepted the burden of these reactions with folded hands. He suffered for 1 year, and then to purify himself, he distributed the reaction for this sinful killing among the earth, water, trees, and women.
Yeah, so again, you find that one side Indra, he kills Vishnu, but the other side, he also just doesn't take the easy way out. He agrees to suffer the sinful reactions for killing him. Then later, he actually does some trading with those sinful reactions. He gives some of them to earth, some of them to water, some of them to trees, some of them to women. And then he gives some benedictions for accepting those sinful reactions. And then he basically, does some kind of trading arrangement with them. These are all different leadership styles. What Indra is doing, how he agreed to suffer, then how he traded his sinful reactions for some favors. These are all some things which you need to take into consideration. Okay, so please read translation.
In return for King Indra's benediction, that ditches in the earth would be filled automatically. The land accepted 1/4 of the sinful reactions for killing a Brahman. Because of those sinful reactions, we find many deserts on the surface of the earth.
This is my favorite purport. Okay, please read next.
In return for Indra's benediction that their branches and twigs would grow back when trimmed, the trees accepted 1/4 of the reactions for killing a Brahmana. These reactions are visible in the flowing of the sap from the trees. Therefore, one is forbidden to drink this sap.
Okay.
In return of the Lord Indra's benediction that they would be able to enjoy the lusty desires continuously even during the pregnancy for as long as sex is not injurious to the embryos. Women accepted 1/4 of the sinful reactions. As a result of those reactions, women manifest the signs of menstruation every month.
Okay, next. Please read.
And in return for King Indra's benediction, that water would increase the volume of other substances with which it was mixed, water accepted 1/4 of the sinful reactions. Therefore, there are bubbles and foam in water. When one collects water, these should be avoided.
Okay, so up to this forms more or less one section. So we'll read the purports and then we'll take a small break for Gayatri and then we'll come back. Okay, please read.
Although modern scientists have invented many powerful space vehicles, they cannot even go to the moon, not to speak of other planets. The Vedic knowledge is called Shruti because it must be received by being heard from authorities. It is beyond the realm of our false experimental knowledge.
So Prabhupada made different statements about moon landing. This might become a relevant discussion sooner or later because now the race to go to moon is hotting up. So Prabhupada said different things about moon landing. First, he said they never went to the moon. Then Prabhupada also said that they got cheated because moon is a heavenly planet. So they landed in some other place thinking that it is moon, but it is not moon. So Prabhupada made these different observations, but Prabhupada made these observations purely based on Shastra. So therefore, this interesting debate comes on how do we understand evidence. That there are three types of evidence. There's Pratyaksha, there's Anumana, and there's Shabda. Pratyaksha means what you observe, Anumana means what you deduct, and Shabda means what you hear from authorities. Again, in Shabda, there is two types of Shabda, Paurushaya Shabda and Apaurushaya Shabda. So according to the Vedic literature, Apaurushaya Shabda is considered as the highest Praman because Apaurushaya Shabda is axiomatic. It's axiomatic. The very existence of it is the proof by itself. That's called axiomatic. Means that it does not require another external proof. In Ishopanishad, Prabhupada gives the famous example of cow dung and conch. He says that the excretion of any animal is treated as muchi or treated as contaminating. But the excretion of cow, which is cow dung, is considered pure because it is mentioned so, it's mentioned so in the Vedic literature. That's it. There's no more proof required. You may research later and then say, oh, cow dung has this property, that property. Doesn't matter. Whether you research or don't research doesn't matter. The very fact that cow dung is pure has been mentioned in the Vedic literature. That is proof enough that cow dung is pure. And same way Prabhupada talks about conchal, which is the bone of an animal. Generally, touching a bone is considered impure, but the conchal is considered very pure. And water is offered through the conchal to bathe the Lord. So therefore, Prabhupada used these statements as the example for axiomatic truth, the Vedic injection being axiomatic truth. So therefore, Apaurushaya Shabda is considered as axiomatic truth. Means whether the Pratyaksha or Anumana, whether it agrees with it or not, Apaurushaya Shabda is true. This is how we should try to understand. Now, modern science may say that, oh, we already went to moon, but you're saying that moon is heavenly planet. That is, we didn't find the heavenly planet in moon. We didn't find any heaven in moon. We didn't find the heavenly drink in moon. Modern scientists may say that. So our conclusion is very clearly that that means you didn't go to the moon. No, we went to the moon. We went to something which you are thinking as moon because the description in the Vedic literature is clear that moon is a heavenly planet. There are living entities in moon and they are all enjoying. So where is that moon? Where is that moon? And to go to that moon, no mechanical arrangement is possible. One has to go by the act of piety. So therefore, modern science is going to throw more and more challenges in terms of Pratyaksha and Anumana. The faith in Shabda that has to be very strongly maintained. Why it has to be strongly maintained? Because even though modern scientists, they claim that have made a lot of advancement, but still they are just making advancement. They have not conclusively, they have come to some understanding that this is how it is. Because they don't know still. What they know is very little, which they themselves agree. They don't deny these things. They themselves agree. They don't know about space. They don't know about what holds the space together. They don't know about what holds matter together. They have some vague idea, but they don't know how these things were set up. They don't know the cause of the order, the cosmic order. They don't know the cause of cosmic order. Till now, they are claiming that it is random. So there is a lot of things which they have to do before they can conclusively say that, okay, we went to moon, we did this in moon, we did this in Mars, we did this like. So therefore, yes, there is science, and yes, there is Vedic literature. So in general, as we progress in time, as science has progressed in time, we find that science is more and more agreeing towards what is said in Vedic literature. So previously, scientists were saying that there was no living forms in space except human beings. Now there's no question of not accepting there is no living forms. There's only a question of finding them. They're trying to find them. So therefore, science is moving towards what Vedic literature has been saying from time immemorial. So science may take some more time to understand what the Vedic literature says, or science may never be able to understand what the Vedic literature says. It doesn't matter. But one should keep one's faith in Shabda, Aporusheya Shabda. That's a very important thing. That's a very important thing. Okay, please read this purport.
Deserts are manifestations of the earth disease condition. No auspicious ritualistic ceremony can be performed in a desert. Persons destined to live in deserts are understood to be sharing the reactions for the sins of Brahmahatya, the killing of a Brahmana. Brahmahatya, the killing of a Brahmana.
So when we were reading this purport, when I was first reading this purport, I was living in Dubai and I was living in desert. So here Prabhupada writes that deserts are places where no auspicious ritualistic ceremony can be performed. And people destined to live in deserts are understood to be sharing the sin of Brahmahatya. So all this euphoric idea of going to Dubai and living in Dubai and enjoying life in Dubai, everything gets shattered in one moment. So that is the power of the Vedic literature, and that is the power of a pure devotee. That he can shatter the illusion of material existence in one moment. In one moment, the whole illusion of the material existence can be shattered. And it is good to be shattered. It's good for us. We may think, oh, I'm living in such a wonderful condition and my life is very good. And I'm also Krishna conscious, so it's doubly good. I'm getting the best of both the worlds. But there's nothing called best of both the worlds. There's only one world which is good. The other world is not good. That illusion of being in best of both the worlds has to be shattered if one has to become seriously Krishna conscious. One should understand that there is nothing optimistic about this material life. Prabhupada repeatedly says that one should become pessimistic about material life in order to advance in Krishna consciousness. So, however seemingly comfortable position one may be in, one should understand that the so-called comfort in the material life is just simply an illusion. It has no substance. It has no substance. So therefore, it's very interesting that how the Acharya's words can be so powerful. Okay, so now we are going to get into the other section, but before that, we'll have a break. So it's 12:10. Please take about 10 minutes break. come back at 12:20. You can finish your Gayatri and then you can come back. And then we'll continue till 1 o'clock to see how much we can cover in this chapter. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. We'll see after 10 minutes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, please get back. For devotees to come back. Okay, so can we start reading the translations from 11? Read.
After
After Vishwarupa was killed, his father Twashta performed ritualistic ceremonies to kill Indra. He offered oblations in the sacrificial fire, saying, "O enemy of Indra, flourish to kill your enemy without delay."
So, you see, a very interesting thing happened. Okay. Twashta, he is actually a demigod. Okay. So, in this one way, his father of Vishwarupa is a demigod. His mother was from the demoniac side. His father was from the demigod side. So, Twashta is a demigod. In one way, he is a follower of Indra. Now, because of killing of his son Vishwarupa, Twashta became the enemy of Indra. And Twashta was so powerful that he did a yajna to actually produce a son who can kill Indra. So this is very, very interesting. That Indra's enmity did not come from the demons. Indra's enmity came from his own people. His danger came from his own people. Okay, please read further.
Therefore, from the southern side of the sacrificial fire, known as Anvaharya, came a fearful personality who looked like the destroyer of the entire creation at the end of the millennium.
Okay, please read.
Like arrows released in the four directions, the demon's body grew day after day. Tall and blackish, he appeared like a burnt hill and was as lustrous as a bright array of clouds in the evening. The hair on the demon's body and his beard and mustache were the color of melted copper, and his eyes were piercing like the midday sun. He appeared unconquerable, as if holding the three worlds on the points of his blazing trident. Dancing and shouting with a loud voice, he made the entire surface of the earth tremble as if from an earthquake. As he yawned again and again, he seemed to be trying to swallow the whole sky with his mouth, which was as deep as a cave. He seemed to be licking up all the stars in the sky with his tongue and eating the entire universe with his long, sharp teeth. Seeing this gigantic demon, everyone in great fear ran here and there in all directions.
Okay, please read next.
That very fearful demon, who was actually the son of Twashta, covered all the planetary systems by dint of austerity. Therefore, he was named Vritra, or one who covers everything.
Okay, next.
The demigods, headed by the Indra, charged the demons with their soldiers, striking him with their own transcendental bows and arrows and their other weapons, but Vritasura swallowed all their weapons.
Yeah, so now they have a great predicament. Normally, you go with your weapon and then you fight with a great enemy. That enemy throws some other weapon to counteract your weapon, and then the fighting goes on. But now they have an enemy who actually eats their weapons. Now, what can you do with an enemy who can eat weapons? This is a big problem. Because if he is trying to fight by throwing some other weapon, then you can find a weapon which you can keep fighting with. Now, this guy is not throwing any weapon back. He is just collecting all the weapons which the demigods are throwing at him, and then he's eating them. So, when what is supposed to save you becomes the food of another person, then how to fight with that person? There's no way to fight with him, because you throw some weapon, he thinks, oh, this is gulab jamun, and then he eats it. And then you throw another weapon, he thinks it is laddu, and then he eats it. And then you throw another weapon, he thinks this is paratha, and then he eats it. So this way you throw weapon after weapon, that guy is just eating and digesting these weapons. So now it's very difficult to fight with a demon who can actually eat your weapons. So therefore, the demigods immediately decided to change their strategy. Okay, please read.
Struck with wonder and disappointment upon seeing the strength of the demon, the demigods lost their own strength. Therefore, they all met together to try to please the super soul, the supreme personality of Godhead Narayana, by worshipping him.
Yes, now they changed the strategy. They said, okay, impossible to kill this guy, because you try to kill this guy, only you are feeding him. Instead of killing him, you are actually feeding him, because you throw some weapon at him, he eats it. So how can you feed an enemy and kill him? It's not possible. So therefore, they went to Narayana, and then they are praying. Okay, please read.
The demigods said the three worlds are created by the five elements, namely ether, air, fire, water, and earth, which are controlled by various demigods, beginning from Lord Brahma. Being very much afraid that the time factor will end our existence, we offer presentations unto time by performing our work as time dictates. The time factor himself, however, is afraid of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, let us now worship that Supreme Lord who alone can give us full protection.
So now the demigods are thinking that our time has come. We have got an enemy with whom we cannot do anything. So this enemy, if he can devour our weapons, he can devour us also. So now our time has come. So therefore, we have nothing left but to run to the Supreme Lord. So therefore, they're expressing their fearful condition to him, saying that our time has come. Now we don't have any other shelter, so we have come to you. Okay, please read.
Free from all material conceptions of existence and never wonderstruck by anything, the Lord is always jubilant and fully satisfied by his own spiritual perfection. He has no material designations and therefore he is steady and unattached. That Supreme Personality of Godhead is the only shelter for everyone. Anyone desiring to be protected by others is certainly a great fool who desires to cross the sea by holding the tail of a dog.
Yeah. So previously, what was the analogy which was used by Indra? He used an analogy. What was that? What was that analogy he used previously in the beginning? When Brihaspati vanished, he used one analogy about his own situation. What was the analogy he used? Today morning we discussed it. I said you should all look at the analogy. What is the analogy he used? He used this analogy on the same context of crossing the sea. The context is same. He said anyone trying to cross the sea using dash dash is a fool. Okay, so he used the analogy of a stone boat. Stone boat. He said anyone trying to cross over the ocean of existence by boarding a stone boat is sure to drown. That's what he said. He is sure to drown. He cannot cross over the ocean of material existence by boarding a stone boat. So he compared the shelter of demigods to a stone boat. Now he is comparing the shelter of demigods to the tail of a dog, and he is using the same analogy. Of course, a dog can swim, but because a dog can swim, if someone thinks that I am in the ocean and there's a dog, it can swim, so I will hold the tail of a dog and I can cross this ocean. So he is not very intelligent. So same way, anyone who is trying to accept the protection of the demigods, thinking that the demigods can protect him from the worldly dangers. So he is also a person who is trying to cross over the sea by holding the tail of a dog. Because the demigods themselves are in danger and they are unable to protect themselves. So a person who is unable to protect himself, how he can protect others from danger? So therefore, this is the analogy which they have given. Okay.
The Manu named King Satyavrata formally saved himself by tying the small boat of the entire world to the horn of the Matsya Avatar, the fish incarnation. By the grace of the Matsya Avatar, Manu saved himself from the great danger of the flood. May that same fish incarnation save us from the great and fearful danger caused by the son of Doshta.
Yeah, so they are comparing their fear to an ocean. They're actually their fear which they have for Ultrastra is like an ocean, and they are thinking that, oh, we have been thrown into this ocean, only Matsya can come and save us. So they are praying to Matsya. Okay, please read.
In the beginning of creation, a tremendous wind caused fierce waves of inundating water. The great waves made such a horrible sound that Lord Brahma almost fell from his seat on the lotus into the water of devastation, but he was saved with the help of the Lord. Thus, we also expect the Lord to protect us from this dangerous condition.
Yeah, so Brahma tried to find his origin, but he became very afraid. Then he came back and he meditated, and the Lord revealed everything to him. Okay, please read.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who created us by his external potency, and by whose mercy we expand the creation of the universe, is always situated before us as a super soul. But we cannot see his form. We are unable to see him because all of us think that we are separate and independent gods.
Yeah, so here very clearly they are saying that what is the reason of their fear? The reason of their fear is that they think that they are independent. So the moment the idea of independence comes, immediately fear has to come. So that is the difference between one who is completely taken shelter of the Lord and one who has not taken shelter of the Lord. A person who has not taken shelter of the Lord, he thinks that he is independent. Even though that independence is an illusion, he is fully dependent. He is dependent on nature, he is dependent on the body, he is dependent on the demigods, he is dependent on so many things. He is dependent on his servants, he is dependent on his relatives, he is dependent on various animals, he is dependent on his children, his wife, his husband, whatever it is. So there's so much of dependence, but still the guy thinks he is independent. And the moment he thinks he is independent, then immediately he has to face fear. So this sense of independence and fear, they are actually coexisting with each other. Okay, please read.
By his inconceivable internal potency, the Supreme Personality of Godhead expands into various transcendental bodies as Vamana Deva, the incarnation of his strength among the demigods, Parshurama, the incarnation among saints, Narasimha Deva, and Varaha incarnations among animals, and Matsya and Kuru incarnations among aquatics. He accepts various transcendental bodies among all types of living entities, and among human beings he especially appears as Lord Krishna and Lord Rama. By his causeless mercy he protects the demigods who are always harassed by the demons. He is the supreme worshipable deity of all living entities. He is the supreme cause represented as the male and female creative energies. Although different from this universe, he exists in his universal form, Virata Rupa, and in our fearful condition, let us take shelter of him, for we are sure that the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Soul, will give us his protection.
So they are recollecting all the different incarnations of the Lord who has come to protect the devotees at various situations of fear. So this is also said in the prayers, that the Lord's activities are the source of fearlessness to the devotee, because whenever the devotees are in trouble, immediately the Lord comes as a particular incarnation, and then he relieves the devotees from the such stressful condition. So therefore, the Lord's activities, when they are meditated upon, they become the source of fearlessness. This we saw in the prayer of demigods in the third canto. Third canto, the demigods, they specifically talk about taking shelter of the umbrella of the lotus feet of the Lord, Atapatram, they say. And then they're explaining that how one can become fearless. So in that point, they have exactly discussed this point, that by meditating on the various pastimes of the Lord in his various incarnations, the devotees can become fearless, because they then get hope. Okay, the Lord came so many times to save the devotees. So definitely the Lord will do something for us. He will take care of our protection and he will do something for us. So like that. So therefore, it is natural that they are thinking of various demigods. Okay. Please read.
Sri Shukdev Goswami said, My dear king, when all demigods offered him their prayers, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Hari, carrying his weapons, the conch shell, disc, and club, appeared first within their hearts and then before them.
So the Lord immediately appeared before them, and he appeared in a very nice manner. So the description of the Lord's appearance is also there. So please read.
Surrounding and serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, were 16 personal attendants decorated with ornaments and appearing exactly like him, but without the mask of Shrivats and the Kaustubh jewel. O king, when all the demigods saw the Supreme Lord in that posture, smiling with eyes like the petals of lotuses grown in autumn, they were overwhelmed with happiness and immediately fell down like rods, offering danvats. Then they slowly rose and praised the Lord by offering him prayers.
Yeah, so now they offered some prayers before the Lord appearance. Now they are going to offer the prayers. Now that the Lord has appeared, so they are going to offer more prayers. And the Lord appeared in a very nice fashion. Okay, please read.
The demigod said, O the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are competent to give the result of sacrifice, and you are also the time factor that destroy all such results in the due course. You are in one who releases the chakra to kill the demons. O Lord, who possess, possesses many varieties of names, we offer our respectful obeisances unto you.
Yeah, so it is very interesting that they actually call the Lord as Yajnavirya. They call the Lord as Yajnavirya. So what is this? Why they call him as Yajnavirya? Because they know that their enemy, who is Vritrasura, is a product of Yajna. So therefore, they are saying that you are competent to give the result of sacrifice. So the result of the sacrificial performance of Tvashta is Vritrasura. And they're acknowledging, oh my Lord, Dhritarashtra has come because you have given the result of that sacrifice. But you are also the time factor that destroys all such results in due course. So they are saying that as much as you have actually caused Dhritarashtra by being the Yajnavirya or being the benefactor of Yajna, you are also the time factor and you can destroy that Dhritarashtra whom you have caused by Yajna. So therefore, you please now destroy him because time has come for his destruction. You please now destroy him. So then the Lord may ask how to destroy him. They are giving idea. You can destroy him by sending your chakra. By sending your chakra. But then they're also saying you have actually destroyed the demons in various ways, coming in various incarnations. So therefore, you have various names also. And there are various names such as the Lord is known as the destroyer of the demon Madhu. The Lord is known as with different names that how he has destroyed different demons. So therefore he is saying, they are saying that please destroy this Vritrasura by any means. By any means, either it's an chakra or by any means you destroy. Okay, please read.
O Supreme Controller, you control the three destinations: promotion to the heavenly planets, birth as a human being, and condemnation in hell. Yet your supreme abode is Vaikunth Dham. Since we appeared after you created this cosmic manifestation, your activities are impossible for us to understand. We therefore have nothing to offer you but our humble obeisance.
Yeah. So why did you allow this demon to be created? We don't know. Why this demon is harassing us like this? We don't know. But we know that if you want, everything can be resolved. So therefore, they are saying that please do something about this demon. Okay. Please read.
O Supreme Personality of Godhead, O Narayan, O Vasudev, Original Person, O Most Exalted Person, Supreme Experience, Welfare Personified, O Supreme Benediction, Supremely Merciful and Changeless, O Support of the Cosmic Manifestation, Sole Proprietor of all planetary systems, Master of everything and Husband of Goddess of Fortune, your Lordship is realized by the topmost sannyasis who wander about the world to preach Krishna consciousness, fully absorbed in Samadhi through Bhakti Yoga. Because their minds are concentrated upon you, they can receive the conception of your personality in their fully purified hearts. When the darkness in their hearts is completely eradicated and you are revealed to them, the transcendental bliss they enjoy is the transcendental form of your Lordship. No one but such persons can realize you. Therefore, we simply offer you our respectful obeisances.
Yeah. So they're saying that just like you are giving transcendental happiness to your great devotees, you please give us happiness by killing this demon. Okay, please read. Continue.
Oh Lord, you need no support, and although you have no material body, you do not need cooperation from us, since you are the cause of the cosmic manifestation and you supply its material ingredients without being transformed. You create, maintain, and annihilate this cosmic manifestation by yourself. Nevertheless, although you appear engaged in material activity, you are transcendental to all material activities. Consequently, these transcendental activities of yours are extremely difficult to understand.
So the Lord may say, okay, I am ready to fight this demon. Are you also ready to come along with me and fight? So anticipating this, they are saying that no, we don't want to come and fight with this guy because we go to fight with this guy, he eats all our weapons. So we don't want to fight. So they are saying that you yourself are competent to kill him. So why you yourself are competent to kill him? You are the cause of whole creation. So you are cause of this demon also. So you are the cause of the entire destruction. So you can be the cause of the destruction of the demon also. So you don't require any help from us because you are independently powerful. So therefore, without waiting for any help from us, you please kill this demon and you please relieve us from the danger which is posed by this demon. So this is their request. But at the same time, they are also saying that we don't know why you do such things. Why do you create such a powerful demon who can simply eat all our weapons? Why you have to do this? We don't know. So now we are only dependent on you. You have done something. Now we don't know how to solve it. So we have come to you. So you please now do something to kill this demon. So this is their request. Okay. Please read.
These are our inquiries. The ordinary conditioned soul is subjected to the material laws and he thus receives the fruits of his actions. Does your lordship, like an ordinary human being, exist within this material world in a body produced by the material modes? Do you enjoy or suffer the good or bad results of action under the influence of time, past work, and so forth? Or on the contrary, are you present here only as a neutral witness who is self-sufficient, free from all material desires, and always full of spiritual potency? We certainly cannot understand your actual position.
So then there are different theories about the Lord, even within the Vedic system. There are different darshanas, so which are making different speculations about the position of the Supreme Lord. Like the Mayavadis claim that Narayana is simply manifestation of Brahman in mode of goodness, and the form of Narayana is Maya. Then there are others who claim that Narayana represents the power of protection and giving. So, like that, different people they try to explain the Supreme Lord in different ways. So, therefore, there is always this multiple opinion about the position of the Supreme Lord. So, therefore, they are also making these inquiries that what is your actual position? They are making these inquiries. Okay, please read.
O Supreme Personality of Godhead, all contradictions can be reconciled in you. O Lord, since you are the Supreme Person, the reservoir of unlimited spiritual qualities, the Supreme Controller, your unlimited glories are inconceivable to the conditioned souls. Many modern theologians argue about right and wrong without knowing what is actually right. The arguments are always false and the judgments inconclusive because they have no authorized evidence with which to gain knowledge of you. Because their minds are agitated by scriptures containing false conclusions, they are unable to understand the truth concerning you. Furthermore, because of polluted eagerness to arrive at the right conclusion, their theories are incapable of revealing you, who are transcendental to their material conceptions. You are one without the second, and therefore in you contradictions like doing and not doing, happiness and distress are not contradictory. Your potency is so great that it can do and undo anything as you like. With the help of that potency, what is impossible for you? Since there is no duality in your constitutional position, you can do everything by the influence of your energy.
Yeah, so here now, having asked the different questions, here they are actually concluding the answer to their questions. They are fully describing the Lord, and they are saying that all contradictions can be reconciled in you. Previously, they were asking that why do you create such demons and why do you make them so powerful that everybody gets into distress? Now that's a contradiction because the Lord is supposed to save the demigods. Now he has created some demon who has put the demigods into great trouble. So therefore, now they are saying that because he is the Supreme Lord, within his activities, all the contradictions are resolved. All the contradictions are resolved. And he knows that what is right and what is wrong. Even though the demigods, they don't know that what is right and what is wrong, And then they are surprised that why this demon has been produced, why he is so powerful, and what is the purpose of producing this demon. They don't know. So therefore, some people are now criticizing, saying that, oh, this is all the fault of the Lord, that such a powerful demon has come. Now what to do? So different people are criticizing the time factor. Some people are criticizing the Lord. Some people don't know what to criticize. So some people are trying to find remedy to this situation by their own means. So here the demigods are saying, because of the polluted eagerness to arrive at the right conclusion. This is very interesting because this applies to the modern scientist also. The scientists are greatly eager to arrive at the right conclusion. They want to understand what is the source of creation, how the creation works, how the material energy works. They want to understand. They're very eager. They're spending billions of dollars and thousands of and lakhs of man hours to actually find these things. So much of research, so much of trying to understand. So much is going on in terms of resources, in terms of manpower, in terms of energy, in terms of budget. So much amount of money is being spent to uncover the truth. So much of eagerness is there that some scientists find something very exciting. Then there's so much of information in paper. Then they give him Nobel Prize, and so many things happen. There's so much of eagerness is there to understand the truth, but that eagerness is polluted. It is polluted by the idea that I am this body and everything is meant for the enjoyment of this body. This is called polluted eagerness. So as long as this polluted eagerness is there, it's very difficult to understand the Supreme Absolute Truth. So therefore, their theories are incapable of revealing you. Incapable of revealing you. So they are making very nice and beautiful analysis. So, and therefore, their conclusion is that everything is possible for you. Everything can be done by your influence of your energy. So therefore, please kill this demon. You can reconcile all the contradictions by simply killing this demon. There will be no more contradiction. So you just kill this demon, everything is over. No more inquiry, no more contradiction. Let's just be done with it. So this is their prayer. Okay. Next.
A rope causes fear for a bewildered person who considers it a snake, but not for a person with proper intelligence who knows it to be only a rope. Similarly, you, as a super soul in everyone's heart, inspire fear or fearlessness according to one's intelligence, but in you there is no duality.
So we are seeing this demon as some very powerful demon. He cannot be killed. Now we are all going to get killed. This demon is going to eat all of us. We are imagining so many different things because we are in duality. So therefore, maybe he's just a rope, but for us he looks like a snake. But you know him, so you know the reality. You know that he is simply a rope. So therefore, you can actually finish him off. So therefore, you should kill him. You should kill this demon. So everything is going towards this idea of killing the demon. Okay, please read.
With deliberation, one will see that the Supreme Soul, although manifested in different ways, is actually the basic principle of everything. The total material energy is the cause of the material manifestation, but the material energy is caused by him. Therefore, he is the cause of all causes, the manifester of intelligence and the senses. He is perceived as the super soul of everything. Without him, everything would be dead. You, as that super soul, the supreme controller, are the only one remaining.
Yeah. So now they're saying you are present as super soul in our heart. You're also present as super soul in Dhritarashtra's heart. So therefore, if you abandon your presence in Dhritarashtra's heart, then he will automatically be killed. So this is their idea that you please They know that Vritrasura is able to do everything because as super soul, the Lord is allowing him to do everything. So they want him to withdraw his mercy and supervision and let Vritrasura simply die. So therefore, they have placed this prayer. Okay, next, please read.
Therefore, O killer of the Madhu demon, incessant transcendental bliss flows in the minds of those who have even once tasted but a drop of the nectar from the ocean of your glories. Such exalted devotees forget the tiny reflection of so-called material happiness produced from the material senses of sight and sound. Free from the desires, such devotees are the real friends of all living entities, offering their minds unto you and enjoying transcendental bliss. They are expert in achieving the real goal of life. O Lord, you are the sole and dear friend of such devotees who never need return to this material world. How could they give up engagement in your devotional service?
So unknowingly, they described Vritrasura here. This is description of Vritrasura. This is exactly what Vritrasura is. So unknowingly, they describe Vritrasura here. But they are saying that we are devotees. How can we give up devotional service to you? How can we give up devotional service to you? But in the process, they actually describe Vritrasura here unknowingly. Anyway, this goes into more and more discussion. Today, the time is over. Tomorrow, we'll continue this discussion because the next purport, there is some interesting discussion about Sakama devotees and Akama devotees. We don't have time for all that. We'll stop here today. We'll continue tomorrow. Exactly at 10 o'clock, we'll meet. So today, since there was one complete chapter translation to be read, so I took advantage of doing something else and joined a little late. So tomorrow I'll be on time. So please be on time and I will start exactly at 10 o'clock tomorrorow and we'll try to go through as much as possible. Thank you very much. Granthashman Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Granthashman Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. See you tomorrow.
Thank you so much.